Okay, so it's 2 a.m. and I'm doing that thing again where I'm watching one of those like deep sea creature compilation videos, the ones with the dramatic music, and suddenly there's footage of this fish with a completely transparent head. Like I can literally see through its skull. It's called a barrel eye fish, and its actual eyes are just floating inside its head like two green orbs suspended in jello. And I'm sitting there in the dark in my bed, phone way too close to my face, and I just went nope out loud to absolutely no one. Because here's the thing about the deep ocean that genuinely keeps me up at night. We've explored more of Mars than we have of our own ocean floor. That's not even an exaggeration. NASA gets $3.8 billion for space exploration. NOAA gets $23.7 million for the ocean. Million. With an M. And I get it. Space is sexy. Space has rockets and astronauts and cool missions. But there is a literal alien world right here on Earth, sitting beneath 80% of our planet's surface, and we've barely scratched it. Less than 0.01% of the deep sea floor has ever been seen by human eyes. That's roughly the size of Rhode Island. We've seen Rhode Island's worth of the abyss. Cool, 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 cool. So let me tell you about some of the things we have found down there, because honestly, they're worse than anything we've imagined in sci-fi. Take the anglerfish, right? The one from Finding Nemo, with the little glowy light. Cute in Pixar. Absolutely horrifying in real life. Because here's what they didn't tell you about anglerfish reproduction. The males are tiny, like the size of your fingernail, and they don't have functioning digestive systems as adults, so they're basically born starving. Their entire purpose is to find a female in the complete darkness of the deep ocean using pheromones, and when they do, they bite onto her. And then they release enzymes that dissolve their mouth and her skin. Their bodies fuse, their circulatory systems merge, and then the male slowly loses his eyes, his fins, his internal organs, his brain. He becomes nothing but a permanent sperm-producing lump attached to her body. Scientists have found females with 8 males fused to them. Researchers literally described the final form as a penis with a heart. I'm not making this up. This is peer-reviewed science. This is happening right now as you watch this, somewhere in the deep. You're welcome for that image. Oh, and speaking of names, my absolute favorite scientific name of all time belongs to the vampire squid, Vampiroteuthis infernalis, which translates to vampire squid from hell. Actual scientists looked at this creature and went, yeah, vampire squid from hell, that tracks. And the thing is, it's not even that scary looking. It doesn't drink blood, it eats falling dead stuff and feces. It's basically the deep sea's little goth janitor. But it got that name because I guess vibes matter in taxonomy. But okay, here's where it gets properly unsettling. In 1997, NOAA picked up an underwater sound so loud it was detected by sensors over 3,000 miles apart. They called it the bloop. When you speed it up to make it audible to human ears, it sounds like, well, a bloop. Like water droplet. At the time, scientists couldn't explain it. It was louder than any known animal could produce. And here's the creepy part that I only found out last year. The origin point of the bloop? It's only about 1,500 kilometers from the exact coordinates where H.P. Lovecraft placed the sunken city of Brillia, where Cthulhu sleeps, They eventually figured out it was probably just a massive iceberg cracking apart near Antarctica, but still, the ocean really said, let me put a mysterious sound right next to the Cthulhu spot and expected us to sleep at night. And the bloop isn't even the only one. There's one called Julia that sounds like a woman's voice calling from the abyss when you speed it up. There's Upsweep, which has been playing continuously since 1991, and nobody can fully explain where it's coming from. It gets louder in spring and fall for no apparent reason. The ocean just has a seasonal playlist of unexplained sounds. That's fine. Everything is fine. You know what really got me recently, though? I was playing Subnautica, which if you don't know is basically a survival game on an alien ocean planet. And the developers have actually said they accidentally made a horror game. They didn't mean to, they just made an ocean exploration game, and it turns out that's inherently terrifying. They identified 6 primal fears the game exploits. Thalassophobia, fear of darkness, claustrophobia, fear of running out of oxygen, fear of the unknown, and fear of large creatures. And I'm sitting there at 1 a.m., my submarine is running low on power, something massive is making sounds in the darkness below me, and I just Alt F4'd, closed the whole game, went and looked at pictures of dogs for 20 minutes, Because here's the thing, that feeling of dread when you're in deep water and you know something huge is somewhere beneath you but you can't see it, that's not just a game thing, that's a real thing. That's why Thalassophobia's content has over 64 million posts on TikTok. We're all collectively terrified of what's down there, and we love to be terrified about it. The pressure alone is mind-breaking. At the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the pressure is equivalent to 100 adult elephants standing on your head, 8 tons pressing on every square inch of your body. The Titan submersible, the one that imploded near the Titanic in 2023, that happened in milliseconds, faster than the human brain can even process. One instant you exist, the next instant you don't, and you never knew. And that was only at Titanic depth, which is like 12,000 feet. The Mariana Trench is almost 3 times deeper, but here's what gets me the most. There's a whale out there, somewhere in the Pacific, that's been singing at the wrong frequency for over 35 years. They call it the 52 hertz whale. Most whales communicate at 10 to 40 hertz. This one sings at 52. Other whales can probably hear it, but nobody ever responds. Scientists have tracked its migration patterns since 1989. They've never seen it, only heard it. It travels alone every year across thousands of kilometers of empty ocean. Leonardo DiCaprio produced a whole documentary about it, and I think about that whale sometimes, just calling out into the dark year after year and never getting an answer. Anyway, sleep tight, I guess. The ocean's only 80% unexplored. We've probably met all the scary ones by now, right?